Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Carfax. A lot has changed since our last episode of Tarot on Tuesdays. It has been a long while. But we left off with the next card being the hierophant. So that's exactly what we're going to pick up at, right? Today's card, the hierophant. The upright meaning, okay, of the hierophant. Typically has a lot to do with support from other people, support from whether it's physical people in your physical world or people in your spiritual world. There's support around you, okay? It's a card of self-realization. It's time to self-reflect, okay, to figure out how to expand in general, okay? It's time to develop, emotionally and spiritually. When this card shows up, it's time to commit to and integrate that mind, body, spirit balance, okay? Typically when this card shows up, you've been through some shit, you lived through some shit, you're coming out of some shit, and it's time to piece together all of the positives from what you've learned, what you've experienced. It's time to have a good look at the self and to ask the self, okay, what did I just learn? Yeah, I'm saying, what were those situations trying to tell me, not just about the people around me or the situations around me, but also about myself? It's time to get it in order, that there should be balance between the things that you think, between the things that you consume, between the things that you feel and the things that you participate in, and between your logic and your spiritual minds, your logic and your logical and your spiritual worlds, okay? When this card shows up, it's typically a time to, like I said, self-reflect and to sit in that self-analyzation. It provides you a space of opportunity to develop your skills, your being, etc. Okay. When this card shows up, it might not all be about, that was a B. It might not be, and that was a perfect example too, because it's not always about putting in that inner work or becoming a hermit of sorts. It's about developing the self so that you are your best self, to rejoin communities, spread and expand. Talk to some people who oh no, it's not a gnat in here. Talk to some people who you typically wouldn't talk to, go experience people who know shit you don't. Expanding in that way is also good for you. It is a card that shows progress in work, and tells you to take inspired action and to be a leader, whether that's being a leader, and making the hard choices in your own world, or that's in your work world, or whatever the case may be. Show up and show out, go ahead and make it do what it do. Yeah, you draped up and you dripped out, you're sitting on your throne, etc. So, provide the information that don't be afraid to share what you know and to receive, what other people know. Yeah. Reversed, this card is one of poor leadership. Yeah, are you making decisions, or are people making decisions from a space of ego, or a space that's self-serving? Yeah, you be careful of people and situations that you may find yourself in where, others are benefiting to your detriment. You see what I'm saying? When that card shows up reversed, it really shows me, or tells me personally, to sit down and have a good hard look at the situation that I'm asking about, so that I can see both my role, the truth of my role, and others' roles in the situation, so I know how to best move forward. When it shows up reversed, it's typically a card of being misled by your ego. And this is interesting too for fellow readers, because you can very well mislead other people, okay, because your feelings are involved. Or you can mislead yourself because you're reading, you want a certain message from the cards. And so you read from a space of what your ego wants to hear rather than what you need to know. And that happens. That's a good representation too of what this card reverse means. It could represent somebody or tell you even that you're being judgmental, you know, as a reader. Readers are people. We human beings too. And so there are times where, you know, we listen and we don't judge. But the facial expression while reading the cards or while listening to said situation will make you be like, the fuck? So there are instances where when this card shows up reversed, it's either assigned to you, the reader, or should be assigned to you, the receiver. Like, all right, somebody in the situation might be being judgmental. Somebody in this motherfucking situation got their ego is too big for their own britches, okay? And I might be being led astray in situations, or it asks you in what ways are you being led astray? What ways are you allowing yourself even to be led astray because of your ego or your judgments, etc., etc. Okay. Again, this card upright represents doing the self-work and paying attention to the self, self-realization. Reverse, this is somebody or something that is absorbed with itself. Okay. When we think things like this, we think, not just confident, we think conceited, we think a little bit narcissistic, a little bit, we think the more negative aspects of self-focus. Okay. Reversed, it can represent receiving poor advice. It can also represent more repercussions for your own actions or for allowing someone else to steer your actions. Reverse, this card definitely says, find your own path, be a free spirit, but don't be fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Don't be dumb. Yeah, don't let just any and everybody lead you any and everywhere. Okay. Reverse, this card is very, for me, it serves as a warning. Okay. Or a call to attention. Hey, boo, where could you be doing better? Where are you giving away your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual power? You know what I'm saying? Where are you looking for validation about the moves that you're being intuitively led to make? You see what I'm saying? Upright is very much so, much like the cards previous. You have what you need. You have what you need. You just need to look inward to figure out what exactly you need to do with the things that you have. You see what I'm saying? So that's all for today. That was, again, the hierophant. Thanks so much for joining my little TED Talk. Until the next episode of Tarot 101, peace out. Have a great day.